Water cycle starts with precipitation. Put a P right here. This is the rain coming down. You would build up in a pond of some kind or surface water. Then evaporation, we'll put an E, is when it goes back up like this. This is kind of the opposite of precipitation. This happens and it gathers together in a cloud like this, and eventually that cloud precipitates back down to the ground. This cycle over and over is what we call the water cycle. Now let's get into a little more detail. Let's erase here and cover a few more points about the water cycle. Remember how we talked about precipitation coming down and evaporation coming up? Well, there's also a few more things going on. You've got condensation, which is basically your cloud coming into the form of rain. You've also got infiltration into the ground, surface water, runoff into the surface water, which also can later be evaporated. So that's the water cycle. Now I want to talk about the nitrogen cycle, which is similar. Let's erase this and talk about the nitrogen. Another element, element 7 on the periodic table. Let's say we have a little animal. Here he is, and this rabbit, for example, is going to eat this flower right here. Well, the plant is giving nitrogen to the animal. The animal then deposits droppings which have, you guessed it, the nitrogen. That nitrogen then fertilizes the flowers and so forth with nitrogen. So already here you see we've got a nitrogen cycle going on. But there's more. You also have decomposers which are working on the nitrogen in this plant here, and then you get a little more complicated of breaking into ammonium and nitrates and the bacteria, what they do. So the bacteria do something called nitrification. This cycle of the bacteria, the plants, the animals, the decomposers, they all work with the ammonium, the nitrogen, the nitrates to keep a cycle going. So we need the animal, we need the plant, we need the soil, we need the decomposers. Okay? So there is your introduction to the nitrogen cycle and the water cycle.